When most people think of Irish step dancing, if they think of it at all, it is in reference to St. Patrick's Day, or maybe the show Riverdance, made popular by Michael Flatley in the 1990s. Rarely, if ever, do they comprehend Irish dance as a highly competitive sport. Yet it is, and one that takes incredible strength, agility, rhythm, and skill. The history of the sport of Irish step dancing harkens back to 1897, when the Gaelic League of Ireland first promoted Irish dance as a way to promote Irish culture. Step dancing was formalized in the 1900s, but it wasn't until the 1960s that a group of 7 dance teachers formed what is now the Irish Dance Teachers Association of North America, or IDTANA, for American dancers to formally compete globally. From that small start, Irish dance has grown to almost 900 member teachers representing 7 regions in North America and thousands of American dancers. There are over 135 teachers in Canada, 725 teachers in the United States, and 4 teachers in Mexico. North American dancers are now recognized as some of the best in the world, with winners at the Irish Dance World Championships in 16 of the 40 competitions held this past March. To understand this art as a sport, we caught up with one nationally qualified dancer from the Lynn O'Grady Quinlan Academy of Irish Dance.
Hi, my name is Anna French and I am an Irish step dancer.
And when did you start Irish step dancing?
I started dancing when I was 4 and a half, and it's been about 15 years since I started. Did I do any other dance before Irish step dancing? Not exactly. When I first started dancing, I was probably 3 or 4, and that was ballet and tap, but I don't really remember it. So primarily I have been Irish step dancing my entire life. My main dance is Irish step dancing. I chose Irish step dancing because when I was 4, I think, we went to Celtic Classic, and I fell in love with the dancers that were on stage. They had great big sparkly dresses and shoes and were really loud and looked to be having a great time, and that's something that I want to do. I have been competing for about 13 years, give or take, since I started competing when I was 7. I compete in solos, but I have competed in Ceilidh groups before, which there's 4 hands and there's 8 hands. 4 hands and 8 hands. The numbers come from the amount of people that are in a group. I've also done a choreography, which was a 16 hand, so there were 16 of us, but I primarily do solos.
What about something like nationals?
To prepare for nationals, you have less time. And the reason I say you have less time in compared to Oireachtas is that, once again, it depends on who you are. For me, I have slightly more time than the world qualifiers. The world qualifiers compete over Easter weekend, and nationals is usually held around July 4th weekend. So they don't have quite as much turnover time as those of us who don't compete at Worlds. Those of us who don't compete at Worlds, we have from the end of November until basically July to prep. However, you don't, because half of that time is spent switching over to a new set of steps, it's not actually as much time as it seems. You basically have 3 to 4 months of prep, and we have one long dance camp from this year it was basically 10 to 5:30, but in the past it's been 9 to 5.
Can you please list the types of dances a typical dancer is required to know in order to compete at a major competition?
So in order to compete at a major competition, you have to know your dances. And the dances that you need to know switch off by year. This year, our draw, our age group, is doing slip jig and treble jig. And slip jigs as your soft shoe, and you have hornpipes and treble jigs as your hard shoe, and they flip-flop every year. Then, if you compete at a major level, if you're an open or if you go to nationals, worlds, or Oireachtas, you also need to have something we call a set dance. A set dance is a set piece of music at a specific time, and all the musicians know how to play it, and the music is the same. The dance isn't, unless it's a traditional set. If it's a traditional set, the dance is the same for everyone. But contemporary sets, what most people do, especially once you get past like U12, your dance teacher choreographs a piece of your dance, and then she sets it to the time of the set dance.
So what would you do if you weren't dancing?
What would I do if I weren't dancing? That is tough, because every time I've gotten injured and I haven't danced, basically all I do is sit around and read or watch TV, and I don't know what to do with my life. And so I try to find things to fill that, and it's incredibly difficult because I always find myself coming back to being like, oh, I wish I was at dance class. Wait, I'm injured. I can't go to dance class. What should I do instead? And then like 2 hours later, I'm like, let me just go practice my steps. Oh, wait, no, I can't. So it's, what would I do without it? I would probably read or write, but I don't really know. It's always been part of my life, so that one's tough.